Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, I saw this article on Facebook about Cardi B and a video that she posted on her Instagram page. And I went and checked out the video. Um, and basically, in the video, Cardi B is dancing to her song WAP, and she's actually reciting the lyrics to the song. And as many of you know, that song is sexually explicit, is very sexually suggestive, a very graphic type of song. And it has some very, raunchy type of lyrics. It uses a lot of derogatory language about women, um, etc. So, she's in her kitchen. It looks like it's her kitchen, if I recall correctly. And she's dancing and singing her song. And then her child walks into the room. And all of a sudden, she looks all embarrassed. She stops singing. She cuts off the music and begins to sip on a glass of wine. And basically, she was talking about how she didn't want her daughter to hear the music and stuff like this. And this is her own music that she puts out. She doesn't want her own daughter hearing her music. Um, and a lot of people have called her out. They've been saying that she's a hypocrite because she puts out this music and she has no problem with other people's children listening to her music, but she doesn't want her own child listening to her music. So, she also has been dealing with this on Twitter, um, where people have criticized her for what she did, like, saying it's hypocritical. And, she goes on to talk about how on Twitter, she said this, there are moms who are strippers, who pop pee, twerk all night for entertainment. Does that mean they want to do that around their kids? No, um, stop making this a debate. It's pretty much common sense. But it's not just that simple. And I understand what she's saying. And there's hypocrisy on both sides, and I'll get into that in a second. But it's like people should be proud of what they do for a living. And what they do for a living should be something that they're so proud of that they don't mind their children being fully aware of what they're doing for a living. That's like a doctor saying, "Oh, I don't want my child to know that I'm a doctor," or I don't want my child to know I'm a lawyer, or it doesn't make sense. Like you should have a profession that you are proud of, that you can celebrate, and let your children know about, and your children should be inspired by what you do for a living. Because the thing is, like, even though she's saying she don't want her children to hear these songs and all that kind of stuff, by putting out these records, her children are going to hear this stuff. There's no way around it. They're going to know what she does for a living. Just it's no different from somebody being a porn star or a stripper. Their children are going to eventually find out about that legacy, and that's a horrible, a messed up legacy to have. To pass on to your children. I mean, a lot of times your children are going to be ashamed of that. Like, they're going to have people clowning them and all that kind of stuff because of your legacy. Like, and that's something that's so fundamental to think about, and that's what your legacy will be. Your legacy lives on after you have passed away. Like all these songs that people put out, those songs live long after the artist is dead. So long after the artist is in the grave, those songs continue to live on in pop culture. Um, People continue to play them. Just like with these, with pornography or something, for instance, those videos continue to be viewed like well after those people are gone or whatever. So it's like you're leaving a legacy. And, it is important to leave a legacy that your family can be proud of. And, when I think of legacies that families can be proud of, I think of the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. And I'm not saying that everybody has to be like that or social justice, quote unquote, warrior or anything like that. But you should leave a legacy that your family can be proud of. Like there are plenty of poets, plenty of writers and stuff like that leave great legacies behind um, about what they have done, about, something that's significant. But her legacy is WAP. That's going to be her legacy. And she has songs that that are popular and many people like, that aren't as bad as that song or whatever. And I'm not trashing her. She seems like a cool person, but it's like you got to think about what kind of image you're presenting. Like in that song, she's presenting women as sexual objects. She's presenting a degrading image of women. Um, there used to be a time when men were the ones calling women, like you had the misogyny in the music, and you still do. But it was men calling women degrading terms. Now it's like these women have embraced those terms as terms of endearment. Now we have gotten to a point where hip hop is not about, actual lyrics and all that kind of stuff. It's about twerking. It's about these, ex strippers being hip hop artists now. And it's just the whole culture has gone to a low level, a very low vibration and stuff like that, where it's all about just selling sex instead of actually selling an art form. And that's what you have with this woman's legacy. And it's like, if I think she knows what kind of legacy she's leaving, and that's why she's ashamed to have her music playing around her kid. Now, granted, her kid is a little baby, toddler, or whatever. Um, so I understand that there's certain things that you may not want a toddler to be around and stuff like that, but it's like we have gotten to the point like where we are a shameless society, where all kinds of things are celebrated, and all kinds of decadent things are celebrated and honored and all that kind of stuff, when they should be. People should be shamed for some of these things. Some of these things are shameful things, but we have become a shameless society. And I think that when her daughter walked into the room, it reminded her of the shame within this music that she puts out here. And so, so that's one thing that has to be pointed out, just the fact that, she's leaving behind a legacy that she's not even proud of, unfortunately, that she doesn't even want her child around. And one thing that has to be pointed out is just like hypocrisy on the part of a lot of the critics and stuff like that. And it's like the same people criticizing her are the same people that watch the twerk videos, that watch the the so-called thoughts models and stuff like that, are the same people that go to the strip club, are the same people that watch pornography and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, while you point the finger at her, you also need to look at yourself and evaluate yourself before you try to be on a high horse and all that kind of stuff. And this applies to everybody. But yeah, I think that this is something that's important. I just think that it says a lot when you have to turn off your own music because your child is around. And that shouldn't be the case. Like, whatever you're doing should be something that you can do around your children, around your family. And I think about that with a lot of my YouTube videos. Like, I think like um, anything that I put on here is something that I don't mind anybody seeing. Like, I don't mind, my daughters seeing my YouTube videos. I don't mind, my friends and family seeing my YouTube, or even an employer seeing my YouTube videos, because these are things that I stand by, and they're based on principles that I'm proud of, and that I respect and have no problem defending before anyone. And yeah, and that's just what I think about this. I just think that she should reflect on the kind of music that she's leaving behind. And she's talented. Cardi B is a talented person. She's a likable person. I like some of her songs, but this song, I think that it was a song that that degrades women, unfortunately, and it celebrates debauchery and stuff. It celebrates the degradation of women. So tell me what you all think about this. Please rate, comment, subscribe, like the video, share the video, hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I post new content on here. With that, I'm going to say peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Have a great day.